basement of the Iacovino estate in Owatonna, Minnesota.
Do you buy the nostalgia? They still do it. I mean, Nance is as good as it gets, I guess, when it comes to carrying on the dorky nostalgia of the event.
I'm in.
You are? Okay.
I understand that it is dorky, and it's, you know, I mean, this isn't Mecca here. I mean, there's nothing, you know.
Right.
But it is kind of the golf Mecca, I guess. And it's not even, you know, look at places like the Old Course and Pebble, you know, places that you have access to. We get down on our knees in worship of a place that we don't ever have a chance to touch. Yeah. Maybe that's part of it, you know. But, yeah, I think it's kind of neat how they, you know, there's all these traditions, but think about it, we know them.
Yeah, right. Well, one of the fun things, it's a gorgeous course to look at, even if you're just doing it at home on HDTV. But it's also one that because you watch it every year, you know the holes. You feel like you've played it, even though we, would have to hit the lottery to be able to do so.
Rory right here on one.
Rory McIlroy is the other story, I think, from yesterday, other than Longer. It was supposed to be a showdown between the two young studs, European young stud Rory and American young stud Jordan Spieth, and it turned out, I mean, Rory played so poorly to the point where by the time he hit the second nine, you weren't seeing any of his shots anymore on TV, and so because Spieth finished bogey double at the end, Rory ends up only 5 shots back heading into today, but that really was underwhelming, that supposed dream showdown there in the final pairing.
I remember talking to you on Friday night after things played out the way they did, and I thought, okay, now here it is. This is a guy that I don't want to say people have forgotten about, but I mean, he got hurt last year in an off-the-course injury. But prior to that, I mean, he had 2 summers ago, he had a Jordan Spieth summer. He won 2 majors in a row. He won 5 tournaments, and he was, far and away the best player in the world, rankings and actual, talent. And then Jordan comes along and has that amazing year last year, and Jason Day kind of snuck in there on the second portion of that towards the end of the season. And Rory just kind of, hovered. And I honestly thought that he would take Spieth down. I thought it would be a kind of a, remember me type round, and he just never got it going. And Spieth just continues to just be steady Eddie, and I mean, especially around this place. But it seems like the moment is never too big for him, and he's always under control. And when he's not, he hits wayward shots, and he kind of expresses his the fact that he hits a bad shot. He's not afraid to do that, but really just kind of nothing seems to faze him. And I expect him to close it out today. I do.
By the way, for those who don't know my brother Phil, he is a golf fanatic, a professional and amateur golf fanatic, and so if this sounds like really inside baseball stuff, that's why, and that's awesome. But you were, just to give you an example, earlier this week while I was getting excited about Twins opening day and stuff like that, which we'll get to that in a minute, you were telling me about watching the 86 coverage of the Masters, the final round, CBS. And checking out who's doing what in the par 3 contest and all that kind of stuff. I mean, this is it's not just everyone's watching today, but you kind of build up for this, right? I mean, this is the Daytona 500 to NASCAR fans.
Absolutely,
for you.
Right, and it is, and if you I do watch a lot of golf and the events leading up to it, and I knew it was going to be exciting Masters based on the fact that by the time that Thursday rolled around, Adam Scott had 2 wins, Jason Day had 2 wins, Rory didn't have a win, Ricky Fowler, your buddy, had a win over in Abu Dhabi, and
I don't know if that counts or not. Rory's an interesting
tour.
Rory's an interesting deal because he doesn't play much in America up until this point. I think maybe one other tournament
He plays the Honda, he plays Doral, and he played the match
others.
play, and he also played at Bay. He played at Bay.
Oh, has he played full well? Then I maybe take it back.
Played the Florida swing, basically.
Doesn't play the West Coast swing. Plays the Florida swing, but still, here's another interesting character. I don't expect to see much out of him. This Smiley, who hits
first Masters ever.
Tee shot to the right, and Smiley Kaufman, who starts the day one back and plays alongside Jordan Spieth in the final pairing today, as we're going to see Bernhard Langer, much like yours truly, with a putter from well off the green.
You did that a couple of times today, but it worked out well for you.
Yeah, it's you got to do what you're comfortable with, but Bernie is going to have himself about a 12, 15, 16, 17, 18 footer, depending upon when that ball stops, straight uphill. But he's looking at a bogey on the first hole. Unfortunate, because that second shot, like you said, it must have hit the pin or it did something, but darn near dunked it off of one hop.
Right.
It ends up way long. So you're picking Jordan today?
I do. I think. I mean, it's tough not to. He has given us every reason to believe that this is not going to be a problem for him. Although, we can get into what happened to him yesterday on 17 and 18. Didn't exactly finish strong. I thought 18 he really limped in, but today's another day.
He tends to bounce back. He'll have bad. It's not like he's just bogey free or anything, and he tends to bounce back when he makes mistakes.
Well, that third shot on 18 was just awful.
Yeah, it was, and then 3-putt from there to make a 6. So not good. But I agree. I guess I don't know that I have an inkling of who's. Is it possible like this Soren Kledman, or how do you say his name from?
I'm not even sure. The 40-year-old guy, from Denmark.
In the mix, Hideki Matsuyama, who also struggled down the stretch yesterday. The winner yesterday was Augusta National, if you think about it. It ate these guys up down the stretch.
They got perfect conditions.
Weekend at Bernie's had his 3 birdies. He had birdies on 14, 15, and 16, and then he bogeyed 18, although it was a pretty good bogey.
Would have put him in the final group.
Had he parred but he made a long putt for a bogey. But other than Bernhard Langer, down the stretch, these other guys got eaten up by those last few holes.
And I don't think that's, that you talk about the conditions in the wind, Jason, but last year the winning score was 270. It tied Tiger Woods' record. I don't think these members are all that great. There's a certain amount of pride that people have when they connect themselves to a course and the difficulty of it and So I don't think they wanted this to be a birdie fest.
So here's Matsuyama on the first hole. Langer's already bogeyed, and Matsuyama, who's playing with them with the same score starting the day of 1 under, and he's got a solid 12 feet in a bender, for his par. So it looks like both these guys are going to bogey. If Spieth shoots even today, that's probably good enough, would be my thought.
Yeah, 3 under gets him in with the jacket into a playoff. Well, and you know what? I'll say this. 4 under gets him there. I think 3 under maybe a playoff.
Might be somebody. What about a guy like Dustin Johnson, who's still within striking distance?
Not really giving us any...
Day and Johnson,
that Sunday is his day in a major.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. He's known for not showing up on Sunday. Although in this scenario he's lurking from behind, so maybe a little easier. Although third shot from the
behind
bunker.
In the U.S. Open last year. No, he was in the final group. That's right.
Yeah. So he's going to have a birdie attempt here on 2 from 7 feet out or so. I just think those are the two. If you're not thinking Jordan, the other two on your mind would be Day or Dustin Johnson, and then maybe Rory McIlroy. 5
back, but for Rory would need some help. Rory would need Jordan and the leaders, the guys under par, to come back to him, and then he'd have to have a magical back 9, which he's proven that he's not ready for at Augusta yet either.
All right, we're 2 segments in. We'll take a break and be back on the Masters podcast.